This week, we're going to talk about the meaning of God's life or God's purpose. So go ahead and write this in your journal. God's purpose is to reflect back to me who I really am. The purpose of divinity is to reflect back to you who you really are. So right now, take a moment to think about what makes you happy or feel positive the instant that you see it. The instant that you witness it or see it, you just get really happy. And then write that in your journal. And then you're going to summarize that by writing what reminds me of my divinity is, and then fill in that blank of the thing that you just thought of. Great. Wonderful. Yeah. And part of the reason I think that those things make us happy is because they're still in their divine nature. And whatever contains divinity makes us happy the moment that we see it. It's kind of like when you see a puppy or sometimes your child, when they're born, they can make you smile the moment that you turn around, or nature. And divinity is a reflection of our purest self. So when we want to be reminded of who we are in our purest form, we return back to our divinity. So in the northern hemisphere where we live, it's winter, and winter is a time of pause, of reflection, of going inward. Like animals will hibernate. You notice the trees, the plants are bare, everything's quiet beneath the cold ground and the snow. And I'm sure that we all notice there's certain people that don't really like having nothing to do. There's a lot of people that hated the boredom of COVID. Like they can't really stand having all this time to self-reflect. So as soon as we start entering this quiet winter period, there's some people are like, okay, let's have a party, let's go shopping, the pressure's on, let's go buy some gifts, let's send out the holiday cards, let's cook, let's host dinner. Like, they put all this busy into it. And normally in nature, this would be a time of renewal. It's sort of to look back at the year, and just sort of process, wow, what did I do with this year? What did I learn? It's kind of a time to pause. But instead of allowing ourselves to pause and enjoy the peace, you can feel the pressure of the people around you just to fill in that quiet, empty space with noise and drama and rush. And I know from talking to you that all of you have relatives who act out during the holidays. Like they're either drunk, they're picking a fight, or they're busy. And maybe because it hurts to think of family members who are gone, because this is a time of year is very triggering, or it also, maybe it's not comfortable to think what we didn't get done this year. And they love that holiday rush because it helps all of us to distract ourselves rather than to thank ourselves. And please write that in your journal. That a lot of times in this holiday rush, we'd rather distract ourselves than thank ourselves. Now, if you go back and look at your journal of the thing that reminded you most of your purest self, this is what reminds you of your divinity, like your dogs or little babies. I always think of the ocean. Now, when we look back on this past year and we review it, like for me, I always think, well, did I pay back my loans? Nope. And I immediately judge myself. But when I or you approaches something that reminds us of our divinity, surprisingly, where our natural reaction is not to be critical. Like when you see the ocean, your first reaction is, hey, how was your year? I noticed got more polluted. Like, didn't nations dump billions of toxic waste into you? Or as soon as you see like your newborn son, you don't say, hey, wow, you still don't have any teeth, huh? Like, you're not making progress. Or do you go to your dog and you evaluate, what have you done this year, Mochi? What are your dreams? Like, really, you want to be a lawyer? Hmm. So no, like you don't really have this innate tendency within you. Like you never put down or judge your own divinity. You either can't or you don't. Like you naturally see the ocean, and instead of blaming it for being such a powerful force and not defending itself against pollution, you generally don't do that. As soon as you see the ocean, you stand there and you worship it and you take in its majesty. You tell your son, oh, you have no teeth? You don't have any teeth? Yeah, no, you don't have any teeth. Or you see your dog and you're like, Mochi, okay, you can be a lawyer and I'll help you because I love you. You naturally disregard anything about your divinity that is flawed. You don't even see it. You just see pure happiness. That is what divinity is. It's your happiness. Please write that in your journal. Divinity is my happiness.